Now, the South African Council of Churches has added its voice to criticism of President Cyril Ramaphosa being cleared of wrongdoing relating to the Phala Phala saga. This, of course, after the Reserve Bank report on the matter raises more questions than answers, so says the organization, and it's calling on the bank to make its report public. Let's now bring in the Council's General Secretary, that's Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana. Bishop, thank you so much for your time here on eNCA. I think a lot of South Africans would agree with you that there are more questions now than there were answers. So I understand that as the Council of Churches, you think South Africans are being made a fool of by the SARB?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it that way, but definitely what we would want to see is the report being made public. Maybe let's explain this. It is not only in the interest of the South African public, which we are and our congregations are, but it is also in the interest of the President that he himself should have a kind of a report from a state institution that makes it very clear what has happened. There are very serious questions that have yet to be answered. What was the money? Where did the money come from? What was it for? And why was it not reported anyway? These mean that we have to have a consistency on what would happen if Malusi Mpumlwana had done the same thing. And so that's why we want to know where the policy issues lie. Of course, it is possible that, as the Reserve Bank says, that their report, there are certain provisions in that prevent it from being published, but it is of such in public interest that it does not help not to publish it. And that's why we're saying that if it's going to go to Parliament, we would rather it did that very quickly, and that parliamentary committees would open it totally up so that South Africans can know what is going on. Does it mean that I can have any amount? Of course, Malusi is not capable of that. But hey, suppose I did have a lot of foreign currency in my house for any length of time, would I be within the law? That's what we want to know. And it's very important that this is clarified.
And I think that's the confusing part, right, Bishop? Because if you look at the SARB's, you can't even call it a report, the media release that they have, there are some contradictions to what the public protector said she found in terms of, who used the money, who brought it in, the kind of evidence that they said they have to this media briefing that we received from the SARB yesterday. So maybe this puts the president in more danger of looking like there's something he's hiding because of the Reserve Bank not being clear with us. We're none the wiser as to what exactly they were investigating.
And that's why I'm saying that it's in the best interest of the President that all of this is put out and aired. Well, of course, even more confusing is when they say the President's company he had no entitlement to the money, which means the money is somewhere in between the person who was paying and the person who was supposed to supply the goods. But that doesn't answer the question of whose money is it, how did it get there, what was the intention, what is the role of SARS, maybe not even the Reserve Bank, what is the role of SARS in ensuring that such money, as it comes into the country, is accounted for.
So would you support some of the opposition parties who are saying that they are going to, approach every legal avenue possible, whether it's filling out the PIA Act form to compel the Reserve Bank to make its report public? Would you support that?
No, that's not our business. Our business is to make the call on the state institutions to do what is right. And they say they are going to bring it to Parliament. And I think that Parliament will be the place where all of this will come through, because we would prefer for it to come out today. But, I mean, you go to court, you might take another week going to court instead of going to Parliament.
And just lastly, Mr. Mpumlwana, what would, or Bishop Mpumlwana rather, forgive me, what would you say to those who are saying, what would you say to those South Africans who are saying, where does the church enter into politics?
It's not politics. Yeah. Hey, have you read Psalm 24 that says, the earth is the Lord's and all that there is in it? Everything has to do with what God would like to see in society. And that's what we stand for. That because everything, just about everything, I mean, politics, health, everything has to do with God. This is God's world, and we belong into it.
All right, Bishop, I have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much.
I want to be clear that this is not a political campaign. It is simply something that says we have a society that's been mired in corruption and in wrongdoing. People have lost public trust in the institutions of state, including the government and the police. And that's why it is important that we try to restore that and become a society and a nation that can really build trust. We would like to see more of that. In fact, it is important that we become one national union that is able to identify a common South Africanness and values and public values that all of us can be proud of. That's what we stand for.
All right, Bishop, thank you very much for your time. We have to leave it there for now. Bishop Mpumlwana, the General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches.